All right, man. So just got finished watching the Garcia Lipinets fight. Good fight, man. Similar fighters, man. Similar skill sets, I would say. Um, both guys, man, moving off the jab. Both guys throwing combinations. One guy really concentrating heavily on the body. Another guy concentrated on the head more so than the body. Um, which Lipin concentrated more on the body, and Mikey Garcia was more of a headhunter in the fight. Let me turn this down a little bit. Uh, yeah, man. So it was a really entertaining fight. I didn't think that it was gonna go the distance until maybe after about the fourth round. Um, I saw Mikey Garcia, doing a lot more studying than he usually does in his first four rounds. So I knew that Sergey was giving him a lot of problems. He was walking him down a lot. He was in his face, smothering his punches. Earlier on, giving him some different looks. He was fairly quick, man, with his punches, quick on his feet. His upper body movement was very precise. He was focused on what he was doing in there, and he was determined to get Mikey Garcia out of there if he could. But his main thing was to bring the pressure, to apply the pressure, and not give Mikey Garcia enough time to think about what he was going to do in the ring. So I thought he was pretty smart, man. To be honest, he was a very smart fighter. He was a hard puncher, heavy puncher, um, very determined. He wasn't deterred by too much of what Mikey was bringing to him. From one, I would say, from one to about five, and then after that, you could see Mikey Garcia kind of switching up. What, not really switching up, but you mentally switching up. Um, he normally likes to outthink his opponents. He normally likes to put together what he's gonna do, even though they've already worked on it. He's working on the looks that he's being given in there so that he can concentrate on the game plan and then put together the game plan. But he wasn't able to do it because Sergey was throwing some really hard punches, throwing some awesome combinations in there, and really giving Mikey Garcia trouble, man. And so he had to rethink how he wanted to approach Sergey after the fifth round. And I already knew it. I was saying to myself, man, this guy, he's gonna come out of the corner ready to throw. He's gonna start putting together his combinations. And I saw earlier on, um, just um, I saw earlier on how Sergey was standing, and I always watch a guy's stance in boxing because that's what's going to determine what a fighter sees and what he can throw and well basically what's available for him to throw. So what I saw was Sergey was kind of turned in too tight to his left with his guard up. He's turned in too tight, which means that he was too close for Mikey Garcia's left hand. So when I saw that, I knew that Mikey Garcia was going to give him problems with the left hook, and also he was available for the straight right, but Mikey Garcia only landed the straight right maybe two, maybe three times in the fight. Sergey took it away from him later on in the fight. So, but he was still able to put combinations together. But how he was building these combinations was based on throwing a double jab. He kept the jab in Sergey's face, like his work rate was up. Um, Throughout the fight, it was up. He had pauses for a little while in there, and he was able to, I guess he was able to kind of think to himself, like, I need to be doing more at this moment in time. So he started doubling up on his jabs. He started putting together some combinations, and that's how he was able to kind of, keep the fight at a distance. The announcers, they kind of had the fight a little, it was a wide margin. To me, the fight was really close. especially around 5 and 6, 1 through 6. It was close. You could have had Mikey Garcia up by 1 round. That's how close it was. But Mikey Garcia, and I said to myself, I put it on Twitter that Mikey Garcia was going to land the left hook or the straight right, uh, to either knock this guy out or to stop him basically. But um, Mikey Garcia, what he was doing was he late in the later rounds, I would say, well, not even in the later rounds, I would go seventh when he actually got the knockdown, and this is the first time this guy Sergey has been knocked down. So uh, I knew he was gonna catch him throwing. I knew Mikey Garcia was gonna catch him in the midst of throwing punches. So it was just that moment in time, because at that time Sergey was really applying pressure on Mikey. He was throwing some really really hard body shots. If you guys get a chance, go back and watch this fight if you didn't see it, man. You gotta be a fan of boxing to catch these types of fights. Plus, it was on late, but it was well worth the wait. But like I said, he caught him. He caught him in the midst of throwing punches. Sergey was feeling extremely confident at that time because he had backed Mikey Garcia up when he was going to the body. He was going to his body really, really hard. He was digging in like with a meat cleaver on Mikey, and you could see Mikey slowing up on his punches. His breathing had got a little heavy, and those punches were starting to get to him a little bit. But he never did fully back off of what his game plan was. He kept coming forward. Usually, when a guy is taking punishment like that, they'll commit to moving around a lot more. And when you start doing that, that's when you're gonna tire yourself out even more. And he's a very very smart fighter. He never did commit to doing any of that. He kept coming forward. He kept his guard up. When he got a little tired, he would lean up against the ropes just for a moment, and then he would bounce back to the middle of the ring. He would turn Sergey around and get back to the middle of the ring. But that the fight was back and forth. The fight was back and forth. Guys were both guys were throwing. Sometimes they were throwing at the same time, heavy punches, heavy shots. But Mikey Garcia got the better of Sergey after the knockdown. You could see where Sergey kind of changed up going inside, as determined as he was in the first half of the fight. So that's what changed the fight. After he got caught with that hook, he couldn't believe it. It stunned him. He had to rethink what he was gonna do in there. And after that, you could see him, kind of keeping his distance a little bit. He was still throwing with the same velocity. He was still throwing hard, but he was doing it at too far a distance, and it just didn't have the same power as it did in the first half of the fight. So Mikey was able to time him and figure him out. You can see where Sergey put his hands down, and he started trying to go into a different defensive posture, and he started trying to shoulder roll. He started trying to move his head a little bit more, and he had his hands down. So he was just trying to feint a lot and trying to throw Mikey's timing off, but it was too late. Mikey was able to figure out his timing, and he started throwing the 1-2 a lot, and he started countering with the left and the right, the left and the right hook, and he was able to land a 1-2 whenever he wanted to, pretty much in the fight. So anyway, man, that was the Garcia Sergey fight, man. I hope you guys caught it, and if you didn't, make sure you have some time uh, on you, man, to where you can catch that fight, because it was really, really good, and I'm very proud of Mikey Garcia. I'm a fan of his. He's one of the Latin heroes right now, man. I really like this guy, and I wish him the best. I hope that he has a game plan for what he wants to do in the future. So, anyways, this video is a little bit too long, but I had to let you guys know I caught this fight. So make sure you guys check it out. Peace.